I'm sending out this video and my thoughts about Donald Trump's recent posting of an image of the Obamas as primates. And I'm specifically targeting corporate leaders and industry and trade associations, including both manufacturing, non-manufacturing, and various ethnic related business associations as well as small businesses. And my hope is that business leaders will step up because, let's face it, whether Donald Trump apologizes or not, which he will not, um, and it's ultimately meaningless anyway, because had the opportunity to see 9 or 10 years of his actions and things that he has done and said. Um, and just a few examples that come to mind were, what he said about Somalians and Somalian Americans, condemning them as a race, their ethnicity, totally deplorable. And putting himself above God in doing so, regardless of whether one is a Christian or not a Christian or any other religion. If you believe that God created all people, well, the Somalians are people of God as well, right? And recently, right here in the greater Philadelphia area, Trump had references to American slavery removed from federal museums and institutions where Black history is celebrated. And taking away any reference to slavery is not his prerogative. And you can't change history. It happened. And contrary to whatever Nikki Haley said, during the campaign, there were periods where America was fundamentally a racist country, whether we look at the Jim Crow years or what preceded it, slavery. Certainly, we were a racist country at that time. There were many people that were probably not racist, but the overall institution of slavery certainly was racist, right? Um, but my main point here is that our system is broken. Let's face it. Republicans follow almost robotically, step for step with Trump. Those that dare stand up to him, like Thomas Massie or former Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, they're cast aside. Look at all the people that worked for Trump over the years and were fired or resigned in frustration, and all those people are basically dead to him. And so, Democrats are trying to gain traction and everything, but they're not the party in power. And right now, both parties are at loggerheads over the Epstein files. And when you think about it, um, our government not being able to fully function effectively because of files and redactions relating to a childhood sex ring, uh, to the tune of billions and billions of dollars. That's pretty pathetic, isn't it? Um, but I feel that there are still things that we can do, right? We don't have to rely on just government to lead. Business leaders and individual citizens can lead and make up for some of the voids that we have right now in leadership within our government. And so, what business leaders can do to help change things is not call on Donald Trump to apologize or inject themselves into the whole fiasco of the Obama image that was posted on under Trump's account. And let's face it, right? As a CEO, if someone on your staff does something wrong, you personally have to take responsibility. And the same applies to Trump. He can't get away with saying, "Oh, it was a member of his staff." He runs the ship, right? And like he said many, many times in The Apprentice, the project leader is responsible for the failings of the individual people that that project leader oversees. Well, what is the president but the ultimate project leader? So the long and the short of it is, I think what business leaders need to do, both large companies, mid-sized companies and also small businesses throughout the country is make a real commitment to DEI and broadcast and publicize some of your achievements as an organization in promoting diversity and touting it as a strength and all of the benefits that it's brought to your company organizationally. And think about it. What Donald Trump has done at the federal level with trying to censor elements of Black history, if you did that in the companies that you run, and some of your companies, I've worked for some of them, Fortune 500 and Fortune 1000 companies that have programs that recognize Black history and recognize Latin American history and recognize other ethnic segments of the population and their history and applaud the achievements of those populations. Um, what would happen to you as a CEO or as a business leader of your company if you were to penalize and punish blacks that are part of your organization in terms of talking about notable aspects of Black history and in effect censoring those employees? You wouldn't do that. You'd be nuts to do that. You'd be gone. Your board would fire you just like that. So what I'm saying is, I feel like the private sector now needs to lead, and people need to become more vocal in those positions as CEOs or as functional leaders within your companies underneath the CEO. You need to tout the benefits of DEI. We are not going to go back to a pre-civil rights era, which is what Donald Trump is trying to do. We've all seen the benefits that diversity has brought to us. Everybody but the Trump administration, which has figured out ways to fire prominent women and prominent minorities, particularly blacks, like the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff who was fired, like members of the National Transportation Safety Board, um, all different leaders within government. That's why they only have 2% of all the leaders that have gone before the Senate for confirmation within the Trump administration are black versus 21% for Biden, 13% under Obama, and even George Bush was 8%. So it's been shocking to see the campaign that Donald Trump has been on to try to imbue his administration with a racist hiring approach, which is what it is. And particularly Pete Hegseth has been guilty of this in running the Department of Defense. So I would just urge businesses to start doing the right thing, speaking out more, and we need less Jeff Bezos examples where he's cut the Washington Post down and shredded their staff. We need some leaders. We need somebody who's going to stand up to this government and do the right thing.